actually believe Mr. Loughnane when he said you're going to win the Munster title?
I'd be fair, I didn't believe him, Jermaine.
133, wind is 280 degrees, 10 knots, cleared for takeoff, runway 28. Goodbye.
Cleared takeoff 28, Shamrock 1.
Away goes Harry, sending it across to Dennis Byrne. Oh, wow!
From Loughnane says happy through.
Right.
Engine start selector.
It's happy with normal.
And the packs.
Remaining on.
Okay, stabilise. Next, that's the rest. Runway, okay, we have.
It's Anthony Daly driving it at Captain's Pond. Anthony Daly has scored for Clare.
If we had been the team who had lost 3 Munster finals in a row, probably would have been the end of the team.
Okay. Round there, and that's in the net! And it's Kevin Murray who scored!
It's been a magic year for Clare, but I think it's been a magic year for hurling and a magic year for sport.
It might be a bit bumpy going down that
I know, with the high end of saying as well.
It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way. It gets longer day by day. I know it's only the words of a song, but it's a lyric that may very well have haunted the hurlers of Clare through decades of championship frustration. Not since 1932, 63 years ago, did they win a Munster senior title. And 81 years since their one and only All-Ireland senior triumph. Mind you, back in 1914, travel was a bit different to this, wasn't it? They went by bike, by pony and trap, even by foot to see the big matches in those days. But now, we, like Clare in 1995, are flying high. Clare came to the All-Ireland semi-final in Dublin from Shannon Airport and back by air, both for the semi-final and the final. We're going in the opposite direction, down to meet the champions. In the capable hands here of Captain Finbar Tighe and First Officer Conor Keeley of Aer Lingus. They're bringing us to Shannon. We'll be there presently to look at the year. In retrospect, 1995, the banner year. We begin hurling 95 with the Church and General National League. The culmination thereof.
Fairly executed. Gerald O'Loughlin. And O'Loughlin dissects the post with a magnificent shot. The Sparrow increases Clare's lead. His first point of the game. Bill Hennessy to cut it. Right across the goal in towards DJ Clare. Done to Eamon Morrissey. A goal! Adrian Ronan, good ground hurling. Again over towards Eamon Morrissey. Morrissey having the beating of his man. Knocked inside here towards Dennis Byrne. And another goal! In injury time in the first half. Adrian Ronan doing his piece of defending. Down towards Dennis Byrne. Nice ball across towards Morrissey. Gets there well. He's got a man outside, Canis Brennan. There's a score here for the taking. And he puts it high and over the bar. It was 2 against 1 there, thanks to the very quick thinking of Canis Brennan. Good ball towards PJ O'Connell, who's moved into top of the right. Back there is Pat Dwyer. This comes out as far as James O'Connell. They need a score, and he provides it. First member of the half-forward line playing for Clare today to score. And they need a far greater return. Willie O'Connor reading the flight path down towards Eamon Morris's corner, being watched now by Michael O'Halloran. Adrian Ronan coming in to strike another one, and nicely over the bar. 7 points for the man who is marked down on the programme as Dina Ella, the number 10 this afternoon, Adrian Ronan. Ball taken up on the stick eventually by PJ Delaney. Inside towards DJ Carey, watched by a very alert Brian Lowen, but it's still DJ causing some consternation. Out to Adrian Ronan. What a contribution he's made, likewise Morrissey. And Eamon Morrissey now has a goal and 3 points. It's an impressive tally indeed for an impressive Kilkenny side.
Disappointment then in the league for Clare, but for one man in particular, Clare manager Ger Loughnane, there was a glimmer of hope increasing to optimism. Ger, how in your wildest dreams could you have said on the day of the league defeat, we'll win the Munster Championship?
Well, this time last year when we started our training for the championship, we said that our target was to win the Munster final. It wasn't to win a league final. We just went through the league. We played new players in almost every game, introduced 2 or 3 new players that hadn't played for Clare before. We got to the league final, played against a very good Kilkenny team on a very fine day in a fast pitch in Thurles. Now, we were beaten in the end, I think, by 7 or 8 points, but we got 3 open chances of goals that day and missed them. Now, even though we were beaten, we did play fairly well on that day. It was a Munster Championship type day, and I felt after that we had a great chance of winning the Munster Championship, especially because there was nobody in Munster to compare with that Kilkenny team.
Clare County Secretary Pat Fitzgerald didn't quite believe the manager.
I would have loved to have believed him, Jimmy, but I think deep down I probably did not believe him. That's fair to say. We have had so many defeats. We had so many expectations in the past, and we had tremendous teams that we expected would have won Munster Championships. So it was difficult to focus on it and say, well, we were going to do it at last.
Anyway, the Munster Hurling Championship began on the 21st of May with 2 emphatic victories. Cork beat Kerry by 13 points and Tipperary beat Waterford by 21 points.
Cleary bears it on goal for another goal chance, and he buries it.
The first of the semi-finals was Clare against Cork, and although we may not have realised it on the day, Clare were paying their first instalment on an historic year.
The good thing about losing a league final is you don't have time to dwell like if you lost a Munster final. So we were back into training on the Wednesday or Thursday night after it, and I suppose you just try and run it and play it out of your system, and we knew we faced a huge challenge against Cork in the first round, so we had to concentrate all our mental efforts into Cork and forget about the league final. So it was easy to get over it, in fairness, like, you know.
That was a real scary game for us. That was the scariest game we've had this year, really, in that I think we were better than Cork on the day, but we played very poorly in the first half. We were just over anxious, and I just said to the fellas at half time to ease up and to just play their own natural game. We were facing into the wind in the second half. We were 5 points down. Then Sean McMahon got injured. We had 3 subs already introduced. We couldn't bring on another sub, and we were in real trouble.
We were maybe a little bit more experienced than them, and people were hoping that the league run might stand to us, but nobody was sure as to how we'd react to being beaten by Kilkenny in the league final, and I'd say people weren't putting too much money on it at the same time.
Going across there is John Chaplin. A clearance out of defence by Liam Doyle from Bodike and Clare. Good ball downfield towards Gerald Loughlin. The Sparrow puts Clare in front after just 2 minutes play. Brian Corcoran in there. He expected to exert a big influence in this match. He was team captain, of course, 2 years ago when they last played Clare in the championship. That's inside there towards Alan Brown, brother of Richard, who played championship for Cork a few years ago, and he gets Cork's first point. No nonsense clearance there by Peter Smith towards Kevin Murray. Came on in the second half against Limerick last year, scored 2 goals. Wasn't enough, however. Shawnee McMahon towards Fergal Hegarty. Great catch by Hegarty against Smith. Wonderful pacey run forward. The Sparrow was loose, unmarked, and he made Cork pay for it.
Yes, indeed. A very good score by Jeff Hegarty. He laid the ball onto the Sparrow, and then a late tackle by Jim Cashman.
Down towards Fergal Hegarty. Peter Smith trying to stand his ground, getting support there from Fergal Ryan. Partly blocked down by Ollie Baker. It's fast and furious at times here. Jamesy O'Connor. Good darting run forward by the teacher from St. Flannan's, avoiding the hoop, putting in the shot and sending it over the bar. Jamesy O'Connor increasing Clare's lead. It's 5 points to 3. Timmy Kelleher up towards Ger Manley. Manley hoping to enjoy a bit more success on John Chaplin. Nicely inside, caught by Alan Brown. Looking for another score. Oh, it's in the net! Well, they've got 2 so far. They've been hugely instrumental in opening up a 3-point lead. Once again, Alan Brown getting away from Lowen. Making a better angle for himself. That's a fine score. Alan Brown now with a goal and 2 points. At one stage, about 20 minutes into the first half, Clare led by 6 points to 3, but Cork have really come good. Timmy Kelleher towards Brian Corcoran, put under incessant pressure by P.J. O'Connell. but still Corcoran making a fine clearance downfield towards Mark Mullins, runs on to Kevin Murray. Murray against 3 Clare players, avoids the block, gets in a good shot and puts it over the bar, his first. Very good clearance under pressure there by Brian Lohan, who's discarded the red helmet. Here's Gerald Loughlin turning just Jim Cashman this way and that. He may well have the beating of the cornerback. Here's PG O'Connell. O'Connell trying to get inside. For once getting the better of the fullback, and he's put it over the bar. First point since moving to full forward for PG O'Connell. Again, Clancy, he's done well since coming out under the 40 against Brian Corcoran, who was dominating earlier on. Jim Cashman back there, trying to take it up on the stick, leaves it behind to Gerald Loughlin. They look for the equaliser, Clare. Here's O'Loughlin once again. The hand pass outside. Ollie Baker with the chance, and he's put it over, and it's the equaliser. The team's level for the second time in this match, thanks to substitute Ollie Baker. He was hit eventually there by Fergie Toohey. Couldn't do anything with it. It's Brian Corcoran for Cork, way downfield. Caught brilliantly over there by Mark Mullins. Now Cork can go back in front here, and they do. A great score by Mark Mullins. This is Ger Manley. Runs past Liam Doyle. Runs unkindly, however, for Kevin Murray. Just 1 point to his credit so far, and now he makes a 100% improvement on that. PJ O'Connell, Clare looking for scores. Good ball inside. That's stopped by Timmy Kelleher, but still Gerald Loughlin persisting. And O'Loughlin has scored! Gerald Loughlin, a goal with 5 minutes remaining. Doyle striding forward purposefully, outside to Fergie Toohey, dodging inside the cover of Timmy Kelleher. Aware that he might have been hooked, plays it to O'Connell. O'Connell looking for the lead point for Clare. What they did in 93, can they do again in 95? PJ O'Connell draws the loud cheers of the Clare following. His second point. Possession now absolutely critical here. Does either team deserve to lose? Brian Corcoran downfield. They're all under it. Waiting for it, however, is Mark Mullins. Here's a chance of an equaliser. Wonderful hook by Frank Lohan. Still the second. Just another wonderful hook by Lohan. Fed inside towards Alan Brown. Brown there. And there's an net. And it's Kevin Murray who scored. A goal and 2 points for Kevin Murray. The fans are delirious. The red and white following here in Limerick, celebrating a goal that's come in the very last minute. It was Mark Mullins who was trying to set it up, hooked twice in towards Alan Brown, down it went from the Brown to Murray, and a good goal. This is Gerald Loughlin over towards the injured Sean McMahon. Can only really hurl with one hand because of that injury, and Clare used up their full complement. It's going to be possession for Clare from the sideline. Johnny Clifford back there.
I'd take Sean McMahon out of there now, because the ball is going to go there. Switch him off to left corner forward, or put somebody else up corner forward and take him away out of it.
Cork lead by 2 points. Here's a very good chance. A goal! It's a goal! It's a goal by Clare. I think it may well be Stephen McNamara who's got it.
And again, you've had
Victory margin, 1 point. Final score, 2 goals, 13 points to 3 goals and 9. A week later, Limerick also won by a single point in their semi-final. A big day for Gary Kirby, who scored 12 points against Tipperary.
Thank you very much, Gary Kirby. 6 points for Patrick Swell in Limerick.
Certainly Gary Kirby's come a long way out for this free.
He's just inside his own 65, in fact. Decides to drop it in. Pat Heffernan, no Sheehy. Comes down to Damien Quigley. Oh, that's a lovely point by Quigley. The slightest little touch. Nice turn by Mark Foley. It's a ball that's kind of wasted because no Sheehy is there, but he almost gives it away. Does he? He does. Gary Kirby, way out the field. Oh, that's a real beauty! The hauler now fudge, Gary Kirby. 10 points for the centre-half forward. Declan Nash and Anthony Cross got an accidental blow of the hurley there. And it was accidental. There's Anthony still down. Pat Fox Trying to get it in across to Nicky English. And Nicky sends it over the bar. Second point for Nicky. And that puts Tipperary back in front. I'm sure there's going to be injury time now. TJ Ryan hoping to curb Rémi Ryan just a little bit. Ball dropping in, Mark Foley. And that's gone over the bar. Oh, that's a great point by TJ Ryan. Gary Kirby, line ball to Sean O'Neill. Back to Kirby. The radar is working very well for Mr. Kirby. An incredible tally of 11 points for this man. Gary Kirby is back. Are Limerick going to stay in the championship? If he's anything to do with it, they certainly will. They lead by just 1 point. 23 and a half minutes gone in the second half. It may not be brilliant hurling, but I can assure you it's tough. And it certainly is exciting. TJ Ryan giving it to Sean O'Neill. A point for the man making his debut. Yes, indeed! Seven minutes left in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. 2 points between the teams. The captain of Limerick is hit by Declan Ryan fairly and squarely. And it's his midfield partner Aidan Ryan that comes away with it. John Leahy. That's a good ball, and that's a great ball. And Leahy knows that it's a good one. But can he inspire Tipperary? He's going for his 12th point of the match. And a 2-point advantage for Limerick. It's a beauty! Limerick congratulate their captain from last year. And Limerick lead by 2 points. 5 minutes, he says.
And not since 1932 had Clare won a Munster title. But all that was to change in the hot and humid summer of 1995. A final in Munster with neighbours Limerick.
I think as it came closer, I began to believe again. I think I had that inner feeling that we may do it. There were hints about that maybe Limerick hadn't really taken us seriously because of the previous Munster final, and as it approached the game, I think I began to believe a little more. And of course, we know the story of the day.
The Munster final this year was the pressure game of the year for us. I mean, if we had been the team who had lost 3 Munster finals in a row, we were the first Clare team to get to 3 Munster finals in a row in the first place. But if we'd been the team that had lost, and particularly for myself, if I was the person that had captained Clare to lose in 3 Munster finals, I think it would have been very hard to come back again after that. For a lot of us, I think, you know, and I know a lot of guys had youth on their side, but it would have been a fierce blow to us, and probably would have been the end of the team.
We got into a routine for the whole year of going for a little training session, you know, being constantly busy for the 2 hours or the 3 hours before the game, and it was something that stood to us later on. You know, there was no time to build up nerves or anything like that, so we were focused getting onto the bus, and we were focused for the 2 or 3 hours before the game.
At training, every night at training, we had drilled it into the players. We were going to do it this year. There was nothing going to stop us. We were better than anybody else. We were better prepared, and this year we were going to finish off the job. And I think we played some of our best hurling of the year on that day in the Munster final in Thurles that day.
Out it comes towards the left half back, who is Anthony Daly, the team captain. Stephen McNamara trying to nudge it inside there. Limerick under severe pressure. This is P.G. O'Connell, centre half forward, and he just had enough room to put it over the bar. Dave Clark, Ollie Baker gathering. The supply in low, runs on well. Gerald Loughlin, the Sparrow looking for another point, and Clare are in front. Gerald Loughlin goes back to top of the left. That's his first point, and Clare lead for the first time in the match. P.G. O'Connell missing his shot, one-handed forward by Turlough Herbert. Mike Gallagher now knocked forward towards TJ Ryan, and Frankie Carroll has it. Frankie leading the charge of the Light Brigade. The shot, and it's over the bar.
It's strange for a goalie to take it, but it doesn't matter. I suppose if he scores, they'll be delighted.
Remember John Commons in the 1986 All-Ireland final? David Fitzgerald, here's the goal chance for him for Clare. He scored! 28 minutes into the first half, and now he's racing back, and the puck out's been taken. Will he win his race? Play continues. Fitzgerald's on his way. So the 65 to be taken by Gary Kirby. His 12 points against Tip included a penalty, a 65, and 7 ordinary frees. Where's this one going to end up? Over the bar! A third point for Gary Kirby, and the lead changing hands now for the 5th time. Keeping it away from the Sparrow, but only as far as Liam Doyle, playing in a more central role as Mike Gallagher moves into the centre. Fergie Toohey now, crossing the 45-metre line, attracting Kieran Carey to him, trying to avoid the hook. Still Fergie Toohey, having difficulty getting the shot in, but does so in the end, and he puts it over the bar, and Fergie Toohey has given Clare the lead. His first point. I'm sure they now believe that they're in with a right good chance, as indeed they are, with the whole of the second half still to come. So the Kilmallock man pucking into the breeze. To launch Limerick's first attack of the second half, which is broken up by Michael O'Halloran. Knocked forward. PJ O'Connell hitting a shot from some distance out, straight between the posts. A wonderful point. Well, he got one in the first half, but that was far better. A fine score by the O'Callaghan Mills player. Gary Kirby will be the taker. Limerick's second free of the second half, and just their 7th in all in this Guinness Munster Championship game. So 2 from 4 so far for Gary Kirby, and that's gone off the post and over the bar. It looked like it was going left, but Gary's 4th point, all of his points coming from frees, 1 from a 65. Yes. Of course, Clare lost to Tipperary the previous year by a big margin.
That's possible, that's possible.
Come down off the post, batted away by Frank Lowen. Here's Mike Gallagher. Liam Doyle going left, then taking away on his right-hand side. The supply of ball inside now for Gerald Loughlin, the Sparrow. Wonderful hand pass to Jamesy O'Connor. There's a score here for the taking, and he puts it over the bar. Oh, they need to produce something to work some form of an oracle. That's McMahon, wholehearted now. Into the challenge there was Fergal Hartley as well, beaten by Sean O'Neill. O'Neill against Hartley, number 8 against number 8. Trying to avoid the hook, inside to Quigley. Lovely sidestep, there's a goal chance, and he's kicked it wide. Why didn't he use his stick, you wonder? It's a mouth-watering prospect, but in Limerick, they have high hopes as well if their team can get back into it. Pat Heffernan dropped in. Mike Gallagher gets away from Anthony Daly. The shot, a vital one, and he gives them renewed hope. Gallagher's 3rd point. We're now just seconds away from the longest bridge in hurling, the 63-year gap that Clare has waited to take the Munster Cup. Fergal Hegarty, aware that he might have been hooked, going for the score. It's there! Clare are certainly home and dry.
I suppose it was a real burden off our backs, if you like, to have that Munster final out of the way. And I suppose we felt that lack of that extra bit of pressure, if you like, for the All-Ireland series, and I don't know, I suppose we played our best hurling in the semi-final against Galway.
Meanwhile in Leinster, the All-Ireland champions Offaly had their first defence against Wexford.
Dáithí Regan, added to by John Troy. Michael Duignan not making much headway. Here's Johnny Dooley, however. Another shot, another point. Johnny Dooley with 4 points, 2 of them from play. Into space, John Troy trying to fill that space. Two Offaly players bearing it in goal. One of them is Joe Daly. Stopped on the line and it's followed in. Joe Daly takes the credit. It's one-handed away by Martin Hannamy. Comes back out to Tom Dempsey. Dropped in dangerously. Rising up for it in there. And a goal! Billy Byrne, the goal scorer. That's exactly what Wexford need. Johnny Dooley inside towards Pat O'Connor. It's on for John Troy. And that's that. The All-Ireland champions are certain now of a place in the Leinster final, unless Wexford can do an Offaly of last September.
The final score, Offaly 2-14, Wexford 1-10. Johnny Dooley scored 6 points for Offaly and the winning margin was 7 points. The second Leinster semi-final had Kilkenny against Dublin. Kilkenny had already eliminated Laois, but by only 2 points.
Pulled on first time, up towards DJ. First time he's got it in the second half. Away goes Kerry. Bill Maher behind him, sending it across to Dennis Byrne. Oh, wow!
However, against Dublin, a super show by Eamon Morrissey in which he scored 3 goals and 3 points set up the victory.
Adrian Ronan trying to whip this one in, saved by the goalkeeper and DJ in quickly. Now Eamon Morrissey, that's a goal! Again, Dublin at 6s and 7s, and this time it's Dennis Byrne who rattles the back of the net. Kilkenny in control in most departments, and Eamon Morrissey might have had a goal the last time, got a point instead. This time he kicks it. They should play a bit more football in Kilkenny. Bill Hennessy, good cut up inside for Morrissey, won the race for possession, and that's the hat-trick. Kim Simpson, and now it's fed outside to Shane Cook. Great pass from John Toomey, and Cook drives it in home. So with 5 minutes to go, Dublin footballers are having problems with their penalties. How will John Toomey shape up with this one? From the 20-metre line, rolled up, struck in, and a goal for Dublin.
Up to the year of 1980, Offaly had not won a single provincial title. But over the past 15 years, there hasn't been a year in which they haven't been serious contenders for all the major honours. And so it was in 1995. Offaly were there again, Kilkenny the opposition in the Leinster final.
Billy Dooley progressing well. The hand pass here towards Michael Dignan, the sell of the dummy, and the ball driven over the bar. A second point for Dignan. Well, it really is a compelling tie, this. Michael Dignan advancing, the hand pass outside when he might have shot himself. Billy Dooley trying to make a better angle, and that's got inside, and Offaly are back in front again. First hint of hesitation there, David Hughes back out to assist his fullback. Towards Johnny Dooley, that's a great catch against Willie O'Connor. Dropped down well there. Everybody waiting for it. Pat O'Connor trying to take it up on the stick in glue pot conditions, looking for assistance, comes out here towards Billy Dooley, and he puts it over the bar. Stopped by Johnny Pilkington again. Nice sidestep here by Doughty Regan, steadying himself, dropped low. And is it a goal? It is! Brian Wheelahan now. Getting the measure easily there of Bill Hennessy. Down towards Billy Dooley again. John Troy knocking it forward to himself. The ground stroke. That's a wonderful point. The Cats simply have to make changes. Pat Dwyer doing well. But the pressure remaining on through Pat O'Connor here. A lazy style coming forward here confidently and knocked over the bar. Taken up here by Brian Wheelahan. Back to his best this afternoon. Johnny Dooley avoiding the block of Liam Keown. Lobbed inside towards Pat O'Connor against Pat Dwyer. That's a brilliant, brilliant goal. The man with the goal-scoring touch, Pat O'Connor. DJ striking for goal and getting it. Liam Simpson to Pat O'Neill. after Kilkenny had started so promisingly. This is taken by DJ Carey, and it's another goal here for him, surely. Snapped up delightfully. 2 goals for DJ in the space of 2 minutes. This goes on towards Brendan Kelly. Now Michael Dignan trying to finish in convincing.
No doubt about the final score there, no arguments. Offaly 2 goals, 16 points. Kilkenny 2 goals and 5. Connacht, from where Galway usually have a bye into the All-Ireland series, actually presented a provincial final. Roscommon was the opposition, and if the Galway victory was predictable, perhaps the 9 points victory margin was surprisingly small. Clare would meet Galway, a double header in Dublin.
Well pulled on indeed by Paul McMullen. Rupert Rigney trying to get it up towards John Troy. Dermot O'Prey missing it completely. Picked up by Brian Wheelahan. Gets his clearance in towards Pat O'Connor. Who struggles to gather possession but gets it ahead of Ger Coulter. Calling for it outside is John Troy. And there's the equaliser. Offaly 1, down 1. Dermot O'Prey's tussle with Brian Wheelahan will be very important because not only is Brian Wheelahan such an outstanding half-back, but he's very influential, inspirational if he does decide to go forward. There's a hurley gone missing from Ger Coulter, picked up nicely by Johnny Daly. And there's the lead for the All-Ireland champions. Plenty of down players there, but just a little bit over-anxious. Johnny Dooley sending it back in. Oh, there's a chance here for a goal. Michael Dignan against O'Keefe. Take it out. Offaly, take it out. Offaly 1-3, down 1 point, and that was so easy. Is it an indication of things to come? Manages to keep it in. And again, Offaly's strength, even in the full forward line, are paying dividends. Dignan back to Joe Dooley. Over the bar. 2 Offaly players there. Joe Dooley gets there first. Sends it back in towards Pat O'Connor. Knocks it down. There's a chance here for Johnny. Referee has blown his whistle and he's given a penalty. Did Eamon Cregan, Andy Gallagher and company say go for glory? It didn't come up. He has to send it low, and it's saved by Kevin Coulter. John McCarthy sending it back in. A loose ball. Hugh Gilmore goes out after it. David Hughes is there once more. And again under pressure. Gives a good clearance. Danny Hughes sending it back in. And the Offaly goalkeeper is out. And it's in. A goal for Down. Exactly what this All-Ireland semi-final wanted. David Hughes, adventurous the first time, more adventurous the second time. He really had no choice, but he didn't get back in time to deprive this man of scoring. Sends it across into the middle. Kevin Martin is there. This is Barry Coulter. Dermot O'Prey is available to his left if he wants him. He decides to try and drive it in, and again it's Brian Wheelahan. Danny Hughes. John McCarthy is available to the right. Danny drops it in, and that's a very good point by Danny Hughes. And slowly but surely, Down are coming back in. And again, John McCarthy is putting all sorts of limbs in danger. John Troy trying to pull it at first time. Kevin Coulter, Billy Dooley comes across to gather it, gets there, sends it goal bound. Oh, that is a strike and a half. Billy Dooley is in top form in Croke Park. Brian Wheelahan once more. Pat O'Connor. There's nobody in really around the house. Dermot Woods comes across to gather it. And dispossessed cleanly by Billy Dooley. There's danger here, and there's it is, in the net. The simplest of scores. The This man is well capable of scoring, even from a 65. Trying to get a goal. Well pulled in by McGrattan. There's a chance here. Oh! Off the post and into the net. Hallelujah! Say the people of Down. And all of Croke Park once again stands, and it's colourful. Joe Everty in a spot of bother. Noel Sands. They need the ball in fast. Sands dropping it in and dropping it over the bar. Well. And we thought this match was over. Michael Dyken running onto it. Danny Hughes is back there as well. And he holds onto it for dear life. Oh, lovely interception by John Troy. Out to Johnny Dooley. And that's why Offaly are the All-Ireland champions. They make it look simple. Fair shoulder. As Marty Mallon drops a dangerous ball in. Nobody can really connect with it. Brian Whelan clears it, but it's not a good clearance. Comes to Noel Sands. Drives it in and puts it over the bar. Goal and a point for Noel Sands. 2-7 for Down. And they just keep in touch. Johnny Pilkington sending it in. Chance here for Johnny Dooley. Nice hit it completely to Coulter. This time you can get it right, Johnny. Yes. Mila Margaret says Johnny Dooley. 10 points in this All-Ireland semi-final, and 10 points the difference between the teams. Kevin Coulter sending it over towards Danny Hughes. Now Down. Can you do something here? Dropping it in. Michael Braniff is underneath it, but it doesn't matter because John McCarthy has put it over the bar. Good point by the midfielder. Pat O'Connor putting it into the space for Billy to run after. Oh, Dermot Woods again to Billy Dooley. And that's gone over the bar.
Offaly 2 goals, 19 points. Down 2 goals and 8 points. Down were done but not disgraced. Offaly through to meet the winners of the second semi-final on the same day. Clare against Galway, again a clash of neighbours.
We had thought all along that if we won a Munster final, we would be satisfied, and that would be it. We'd fade off into the background again and never appear for another 10 or 15 years. Absolutely. But once we had won the Munster final, we were playing our near neighbours Galway in the semi-final, and especially all the people up around North Clare, they were telling us, you can't let Galway beat us. They'll take all the gloss off the Munster final victory if you let Galway beat us. So we celebrated for 4 days, and then we got back to training and really aimed all our sights on the Galway game. And of course that was a scorching day in Croke Park. The pitch was cut down to the very bone. It was a very fast, very competitive game, and luckily in the end we came out on top.
There's not the usual lush covering of grass that you expect at this time of the year, but I suppose that a testament to the recent weather conditions. It's fairly tight, looks a bit parched in areas, as David Fitzgerald hits that ball way down, batted out by Sean Tracy, only as far as the Sparrow, and he puts it over the bar. Gerald Loughlin has the credit of getting the first Clare point in an All-Ireland semi-final for 63 years. Missed there by Michael O'Halloran. Nervous start. Picked up by Ollie Fahy. Fahy, one of 4 under-21s in this Galway team, playing this afternoon. A good block down by O'Halloran. Followed his man well, but it comes back to Fahy again. Here's a good chance, and he takes it. And the sides are level. Nigel Shaughnessy taking his 3rd sideline cut. Ollie Baker is back there. One of the heroes from Thurles towards Jamesy O'Connor. Closely marked so far by Pádraig Kelly. Unable to make a major impact indeed. Here's Justin Campbell. Campbell getting away from Daly, and that's over the bar. And Galway go in front. Campbell's first point. Richie Burke switching the direction of his puck out towards Ollie Fahy. Galway doing well in several positions all over the field. Clare, you feel, still to settle. That's Hegarty. Good ball inside. Here's a great chance. Gerald Loughlin. Oh, it's a goal! The score that Clare have looked for. and they go back in front, and it's the Sparrow once again. It's come in the 17th minute, and it was Fergal Haggerty who provided the fodder. Dreadful defending for once by Galway, and in crept Gerald Loughlin. Anthony Daly, PJ O'Connell. Clare switching their half forwards. Jamesy O'Connor is now right half forward. Here's PJ O'Connell again. To send in a lobbing ball. They wait for it inside. Nigel Shaughnessy there. Christy Halibert as well. This is Stephen McNamara. McNamara trying to go through the eye of a needle. Does so. Shortly the gripping the stick, and that's gone over the bar. That really could have gone anywhere. Anthony Daly hoping to lead his charges into the promised land and a final here in 4 weeks' time against the champions, but it's a long way to go yet. Anybody's match. And here's Joe Cooney given space, and that's all he needs. A second point for Cooney, the first from play, and so now just a point between the teams. Pádraig Kelly cutting it up. That's a great cut, batted down by Lohan to Joe Cooney, and it's stopped over the bar, and the sides are level. Joe Cooney's points, 2 in rapid succession, and level now for the second time in this Guinness All-Ireland semi-final. Brian Lohan keeping it away from the attentions of Joe Cooney. The ball downfield, the intentions well read by Sean Tracy. Well caught. Taken neatly here by Fergal Haggerty. It's Haggerty and Baker at midfield for Clare. Toohey now left half forward, trying to come away there from Michael Coleman. Nicely inside towards Stephen McNamara. McNamara bearing down. It's a goal! It's another Clare goal! McNamara the scorer. After the last Clare goal, Pat Fitzgerald, the county secretary, looks mighty pleased. Well, he might be. This was set up by Fergie Toohey, showing the younger legs against Michael Coleman. A good inviting ball inside, taken away well here by McNamara from Halibert and into the back of the net. This is a great spell of the match now for Clare, who were slow to settle. Cross towards Jamesy O'Connor, held on for dear life, taking it away from Jerry McInerney. The younger Clare players asserting themselves right now, and that's sent straight between the posts. Jamesy O'Connor, the point scorer. Jamesy from the county football champions in Clare, if you can believe, from St Joseph's Dura Bearfield. 2-3 to 5 points. Well, here's a youngster from Galway, it's Ollie Fahy. Fahy towards Joe Cooney. Instead it's picked up there by Brian Lohan. Liam Burke, captain Galway to under-21 honours 2 years ago. An awkward enough angle, makes the most of it and puts it over the bar. That's a great point by Liam Burke. Here's Shaughnessy. Young players start at minor at under-21 level as Joe Rabbit breaks the stick, and Ollie Fahy is on his way. This must be a score, and it is. Good point there by Ollie Fahy, his second of the day. Late in this first half, he makes it 2-4 to 7 points. He's got support outside, goes inside instead. Well, the original option might have been a better one. Clancy gets it back nonetheless. Once again to Fergie Toohey. Looking for a point, that's beautifully struck. Just inside the left-hand post. Fergie Toohey's first point. Colonel taking it down here for Fergie Toohey. The star of the Clare half-forward line during the first half. Ollie Baker in there, manfully against Michael Coleman. Runs back towards Fergal Haggerty, has the presence of mind to pick out Anthony Daly. We await the first score of the second half. Conor Clancy, maybe the provider. Nicely inside the Fergie Toohey, towards Gerald Loughlin. Got the first point of the first half. It's a goal! A second goal for Gerald Loughlin. A third goal for Clare in the second minute of the second half. Well, certainly it was Anthony Daly who became the provider. Conor Clancy, lovely hand pass. Toohey involved in the equation as well. And watch this for clinical finishing. Richie Burke had no chance. Tom Halibert holding his man. His man was Gerald Loughlin, who protests, but the referee says play on. Joe Cooney thought about the pass towards Liam Burke. Over his head, flung inside towards Francis Ford. Ford gets a touch! That's a great goal! That's a strike by Francis Ford in the 5th minute of the second half. That lead is pegged back now quite considerably, 5 between them.
That's a great score for Galway. A high ball coming from Joe Cooney and went in between defenders, and a great flick by Francis Ford and gave a Fitzgerald no chance in goal.
Now towards Francis Ford. Ford against Frank Lohan. Lohan can't take it up. That's Ollie Baker again. Brian Lohan, or rather Frank Lohan, out to Mikey Coleman, and that's over the bar. Great point by the Abbey Knockmoy player after there was what you might call foostering by some of the defenders. Jamesy O'Connor to cut it. Going away from goal, PG O'Connell trying to forage against Jerry McInerney. Jerry put under some considerable pressure. O'Connell across the face of goal. Nigel Shaughnessy touches it down. Jamesy O'Connor waiting for it. It's got over the bar. Great point by Jamesy O'Connor. His 5th of the match. 3 from frees and now 2 from play. Some, of course, have played here against Dublin in the league. There was also a league quarter-final, I remember, about a year ago. Francis Ford back at the other end. And Francis Ford means business. The goal has done his confidence a lot of good. 5 points the margin once again. A Galway substitute. Taking the liquid here from Dr. Mike McGloin. That seems to be Jackson. The man they call Jackson, of course. Joe McGrath. Meanwhile, play continues, and that sails over the bar from Justin Campbell. Galway now, I think, believe that they have the skill and the craft to lure the Clare ambition. A 2-point game where once there were 8 points between them. What a comeback, and this by Justin Campbell. Lovely score. Liam Doyle put under pressure, copes admirably. PG O'Connell, great catch. Jerry McInerney staying off him. O'Connell's shot is high. Is it between the posts? It's over the bar. That might yet prove to be a very important point. Galway had been eating into Clare's lead, and now with about 13 minutes left, O'Connell has stretched Clare's advantage once again, and they lead by 3 points. Both sides can win the semi-final, of that there's no doubt. Where at half-time it looked very good from a Clare perspective. Here's Jamesy O'Connor kicking it into space, waiting for Liam Doyle. Where's the wing forward? That should have been Liam Burke on Doyle, and he takes the score. Liam Doyle's first point comes at a very, very important stage of the match. It's 3:10 to 1:13. That's Jackson McGrath, Nigel Shaughnessy. It comes out to Jamesy O'Connor. O'Connor from the 45-metre line puts it over. Jamesy O'Connor now at midfield, exerting a magnificent influence over proceedings, and the scorer of 7 points out of that wonderful tally. Wonderful, that is, if you're a Clare fan, and I gather they are.
I suppose we were getting greedy, so the final was coming, and everybody felt, I think, that Offaly were a super team, but I think a lot or most of the credit must go to the team management. You know, I think they did an excellent job. They prepared the team, I think, excellently, both physically and mentally.
People were saying all along that their only wish was that they'd see Clare in Croke Park on the day of the All-Ireland final. You know, so many people who had gone to all Clare matches back through the years, they just wanted to sit there in Croke Park and see Clare coming out. But you can bet that every one of those, once they saw Clare coming out, they wanted to win the All-Ireland, and we knew that. So at training leading up to the match, we never mentioned the words All-Ireland. We never mentioned the word final. All we said was it's a game against Offaly, the All-Ireland champions, the best team in the country, and now we are going to be really tested. So we focused in totally on the game rather than the event. And I think that helped us because we felt we could beat Offaly. We felt if we closed them down, and as Jack Charlton said, kept them under pressure, that we could take the initiative from them and we could beat them. So we were very confident leaving here on that Sunday morning. We left here at 9 o'clock. We were really confident, not cocky now, not arrogant about it, but we had a real secure sense that we were going to do it on that day. Everybody was calm, they were clear-headed, there was no frenzy about the team at all leaving here, and we sat down above in the hotel before we went to the game, and everybody said, listen, we're going to give it our level best today, and we knew when that would happen that we had a great chance of winning.
Offaly were back on familiar territory, the All-Ireland final, where 12 months previously they produced the great Lazarus Act, the famous finish to go from 5 points down to 6 points in front in the space of a few minutes. For Clare, it was new ground. For the first time in 63 years, they had qualified for the All-Ireland final. The big day had arrived in earnest. Tickets were like gold dust as never before for the unique pairing of Offaly and Clare. Johnny Pilkington was aiming to become the fourth Offaly man to captain the All-Ireland winners. And Anthony Daly was attempting to become the first ever Clare captain to lift the Liam McCarthy Cup.
There's colour, there's excitement, there's everything we could wish for on the first Sunday in September. A quick check on the Offaly side. Unchanged, just that positional switch involving Michael Dignan, number 12, and Joe Dooley. Unchanged, that is, from the semi-final. And likewise Clare going into this final with the same 15 that won through against Galway. Brian Lohan, the strong man in the full back line. Jamesy O'Connor, the number 8, very much to look out for in midfield. The referee then is Dickie Murphy, and all of his umpires coming from the Rapparees Club down in Wexford. John Tyrrell, Paul Shiggins, Morgan Murphy and Paddy Buckley as the match gets underway. And Offaly, of course, who won the toss, playing from left to right in the first half. Straight away it's Joe Dooley. Johnny Dooley, his brother, in pursuit over there. Ball knocked away by Ollie Baker. Straight as far as Dáithí Regan. Here's the first chance, and there's the first point. Clare were chasing in packs there, but this man was left unmarked and an easy point.
Yes, a great start for Offaly, you know, and that's something that Clare could probably do out at this stage, you know.
Anthony Daly will take it. A huge one. Looks very good indeed. Drops right in there. Kevin Keenan touches away with a stick. Comes back out towards Kevin Martin. Martin, the left half back, relieving the danger. Up towards Joe Dooley, has made the switch, as we told you just a moment ago, with Michael Dignan. Darting away from the challenges. A high ball dropping down out of the clouds. They wait inside for it. Billy Dooley, his brother, beaten for it by Frank Lohan. And incoming here is Johnny Dooley outside towards Billy. Billy Dooley pursued and challenged by Frank Lohan and Brian. But he still has enough room to swing the stick, and he puts it over the bar. Billy Dooley's first point, a second for Offaly. And they've settled down much, much better. Perhaps showing the experience of the big occasion here at Croke Park.
Yes, Jordan, that was great play again by Johnny Dooley, you know, to find out, hand pass the ball out, and a great score by Offaly.
P.G. O'Connell unable to profit by that pass. It's Dáithí Regan instead. Joe Dooley effectively missing it. Comes back here instead to Ollie Baker, trying to pass it forward to P.G. O'Connell. Intercepted. Johnny Dooley back in there. And they're whipping at it furiously. Comes to P.G. O'Connell, dashes away from the challenge. The hand pass, a little bit long. Fergal Haggerty did well to keep it moving inside. And here's the Sparrow, Jerry Loughlin without the hurley. Tight challenges coming in. That's Brian Wheelahan. And really the number 12 is going to have to try and put the shackles on Brian Wheelahan if he can. And that's going to be so difficult. Sean McMahon, there's the shot, and it's gone over the bar. Sean McMahon, the first Clare player to score in an All-Ireland final for 63 years. It's 2 points to 1, and are they happy? Joe Loughlin, his first occasion to be involved, of course, as player or mentor in an All-Ireland final. Eamon Cregan played in 3 All-Ireland finals. Ollie Baker cuts it in. Is that the lead? It is! Clare in front. Ollie Baker recovered from injury. Kevin Keenan. John Troy winning that one just about. Keeping it moving ahead to Johnny Dooley. Looking for another snapshot and another point. Looks great, and that's over the bar. A third point for Johnny Dooley. Just the first from play. This is caught by Sean McMahon, who's got 2 points for Clare. It's kicked forward there by Joe Dooley, happily recovered. Won't come up there for Michael O'Halloran. Greasy surface following the rain we had here this morning. Joe Dooley racing back for it, won however by Ollie Baker. Across it comes there towards Fergie Toohey. Nice pick up. An angled ball across towards Gerald Loughlin. The forwards looking for possession. And the followers looking for scores. A partial block there by Brian Wheelhen. Good craftsmanship and good technique. A persistence, however, by the Sparrow, carrying him in there close to Martin Hanamy. Struggling to get the ball away, but does so effectively at the end. Only as far as Fergie Toohey. Toohey going by Kevin Martin. Tricky angle, he's put it over the bar. Fergie Toohey, the first of the Clare forwards to score. And there's just a point in it. Offaly 5, Clare 4. It's a low enough scoring All-Ireland final. Dáithí Regan getting the measure here of Fergal Hegarty, has moved in towards midfield in a switch with Ollie Baker. That's got over the bar. A point there by John Troy. So once again, Offaly push out the lead. It's now 2 points once again. John Troy kicking it back to himself there. And to his colleague Liam Doyle was Ollie Baker. Two players under the dropping ball, and that's Conor Clancy. Way out now from his full forward position, playing on the 40. Hubert Rigney, nobody pressurising, that's where Conor Clancy should be. Here's Anthony Daly, swinging around well in typical fashion. Dropped by Dáithí Regan initially. Chance now once again to lay siege on the Clare goal. Good hand pass. Michael Duignan motoring in, looking around to see what's on. Stopped, and has it gone over the line? It has! A goal for Offaly. A mistake by David Fitzgerald. Michael Duignan, I think, will take the credit. That with just 2 minutes to go to half-time. A player has had such a wonderful season. Goalkeeper Davy Fitzgerald, I think, deceived a bit by this one. He batted it down and agonisingly over his own end line, and there was no doubt about it. Hadn't made a mistake all through the championship campaign. So inside the final minute of a tense All-Ireland final, Conor Clancy trying to make amends for that one that crept in there. Fergal Hegarty drops it in, and it's gone over the bar. It's the Kilnamona man, Fergal Hegarty, who gets the point. 3 between them. It's nothing in a final. It's nothing in any kind of hurling match. One here by James O'Connor. Alert to the possibilities inside towards Gerald Loughlin. Sweeping aside the challenge there of Shane McGuckin. Here's where they need a score, and he's the provider. The Sparrow finally scores in injury time, and there are just 2 points between these teams. It's anybody's game. They're well aware of it. It's all to play for in the remaining 35 minutes. It's half-time here at Croke Park. Gerald Loughlin finishing very prominently there, getting that final point of the first half. The Clare followers cheering in their team. Half-time score, it's Offaly 1-6. Clare, 7 points.
You think you're going to do it?
We're going to do it.
Prophetic words indeed, perhaps. The wind has whipped up. It's behind Clare for the second 35 minutes. And as you know, 2 between them. There's the position, 1-6 to 7 points. Straight away here is Frank Lohan. Distinguished himself well in the first half. Both sets of backs were really on top of their form. Davy Fitzgerald's puck out right through the centre, broken down by Conor Clancy to Ollie Baker, pursued by Johnny Pilkington, fed inside towards the Sparrow, now at full forward. Can't get through, however. Keenahan and Martin Hanamy here have been busy, but that's good stick work by Stephen McNamara, and it ends up being a 65. Clever work by the Clare number 13. And coming right across there was the other man in that full back line, Shane McGuckin. Well, he'll want to make up for the disappointing day he had last year against Damien Quigley in the All-Ireland final against Limerick, and he did so well there, sweeping right across the line. Here's the 65. Sean McMahon's got 1 so far, looking for his 3rd point to put just one between them. High up into the air, measured well, and over the bar. Another 65 for the king of the 65, Sean McMahon. 1 point the margin, and the fabulous Bearfield boys with the flag up there. St. Joseph's from Dura Bearfield. One of their players, of course, Sean McMahon. Ollie Baker there. Baker also from the same club. Hegarty knocking it through to Conor Clancy. He's got a new lease of life out at centre half forward. David Hughes knocking it back defiantly. Joe Dooley watching the flight path of the ball, but it's won instead by Liam Doyle, a marvellous wing back for Clare. Into space, trying to cause some problems, and they do. Stephen McNamara looking for the equaliser, and it's gone to the left. A look of resignation, I think, on Stephen McNamara's face. This grandson of the great late Jackie Power of Limerick, of course, who won 2 All-Ireland hurling medals. And of course his uncle Ger won each with the Kerry footballers, and he was close there to getting his first point in this match. Indications there on the far side that Declan Pilkington is getting ready, and Eamon Cregan, I think, is ready to take remedial action. Michael Duignan now has gone to full forward in a switch with Pat O'Connor. Likewise Declan Pilkington is still over there preparing to come in perhaps. Here's his brother Johnny, the team captain, getting it away from Ollie Baker. Fed on magnificently there by Dahi Regan. Brian Lohan again first to the ball. Michael Duignan is the latest we put in there at full forward. Here's Liam Doyle, nicely swung in there towards the Sparrow. Keenan, that's tremendous full back play. Not a very long clearance, but effective nonetheless. Out from Johnny Pilkington to Joe Dooley. Now John Troy. Pat O'Connor has lost the stick, but he held his balance. He was fouled, and he gets the free in. And it's Michael O'Halloran going back there to remonstrate with the referee. This is just a moment ago here, a magnificent illustration of high fetching by a determined fullback in top form.
Fitzgerald was a great play by Kevin Keenan, and he's certainly dominant around the square there for Offaly.
You may remember the day in the league, the semi-final against Kilkenny, and DJ, one of our panellists today, and had a very bad afternoon, but my goodness, he's come back really strongly. That's Johnny Dooley, and that's a 4th point.
Clare are very much still in this game. There's a long way to go, and if it stays the scores like this, you know, we're in for a very, very tense last 10-15 minutes.
Yes, it sounds very simplistic, but as long as it stays as tight as this, the underdogs from Clare are in there with a real chance. PJ O'Connell towards Jamesy O'Connor, so influential, so important. Fergal Hegarty, great block down. Kevin Martin in there again, trying to limit the effectiveness of the half forward. It gets in as far as Conor Clancy. Clancy now back in at full forward again, because Kevin Keenan had begun to lord it, and there's a shot that is put over the bar by Fergie Toohey. A 2nd point for the Clare Castle man. Clare edge within a point of the All-Ireland champions. Well, we talked about the Clare fans being everywhere and anywhere. They look like they've got about half Hill 16 as well. They must have been printing their own tickets.
Yes, and Eamon Cregan has been in there having a word with Michael Duignan over that last hand pass that he took. I reckon he would have felt he should have put the ball over the bar.
Here's Brian Lohan. So who's it to be in the 1995 Guinness All-Ireland final? Liam Doyle, there's a lovely block again there by Joe Dooley. Again Liam Doyle. Just when Clare look like they're about to get the ball away, there are hooks and there are knocks down and blocks of all kinds. Hubert Rigney bats it, but not so effectively. Comes out instead towards Kevin Martin, put under incessant pressure. Here's Fergie Toohey. Toohey scampering away. Johnny Pilkington getting back, making a half challenge on that one. It reaches Jamesy O'Connor. One between them. Clare trailing. Jamesy O'Connor putting it in, putting it high, putting it off the post. It came off the post to PJ O'Connell. Comes back down again to Theo McNamara. Here's Fergie Toohey, who started all of that. Now will he get it over? Yes, he will. They're level. Level for the 3rd time in this All-Ireland final. Clare becoming more expressive. Offaly with plenty of possession, but unable to translate possession into needed scores. This is where that one came in from Fergie Toohey, down off the post, and look who reacted quickly. Keenan was in there quickly, and it was scampered away somehow by Shane McGuckin. Wonderful catch, this time by Clancy. Much more expressive now around midfield than he had been up to now inside on the fringe of the square. Here he is again, towards the Sparrow O'Loughlin. Got a touch on it, runs on well here, and the referee allows play to continue as Fergie Toohey was chasing it after that one. Shane McGuckin, great catch. Offaly backs not slow about putting the hand up and taking the ball with style. Likewise, mentioned style, how about Brian Lohan? That's a wonderful long clearance in towards Gerald Loughlin. Down it comes towards Taff. It's David Hughes who has it. It's a really enjoyable All-Ireland final at this stage. The issue really in doubt. James O'Connor, players calling for it everywhere and anywhere. Here's Michael Duignan. The long ball down towards Billy Dooley. But Frank Lohan has the measure of that challenge, at least up to now. Doherty Regan knocked in adventurously, they chase in after it. Brian Lohan, someone got to stick to it, but only on as far as Billy Dooley. Dooley hand passing it back. Declan Pokey the shot, comes a ricochet. Michael O'Halloran and Frank Lohan in there, and it's Brian Lohan who makes the clearance. That's terrific full back play. I tell you, both full backs in this match are playing stormers. Billy Dooley's final ball in there, missed by Brian Lohan in a typical fashion, and that's John Troy, and that's a goal! Johnny Pilkington, right on the spot. 19 minutes into the second half. Well, when Offaly apply the pressure, this is what happens. Blocks and hooks, good stop by Davy Fitzgerald, but in came Johnny Pilkington, and he finished it. Johnny Dooley, who started the recovery on that occasion. John Troy missed it. Oh, it's swept away there by David Fitzgerald. Good save by the keeper. Liam Doyle. PJ O'Connell has had his moments. Likewise, Fergie Toohey. 3 very good points from Toohey. This time a better ball inside towards Cyril Lyons. And it's won, however, by Kevin Keenan once again. This is the save just a moment ago here by David Fitzgerald. And he's had to recover his composure and his confidence after the lapse in the first half. I wouldn't like to have to pick an all-star fullback between Brian Lohan and Kevin Keenan this year, I tell you.
No, certainly it's been 2 outstanding performances today by the 2 fullbacks.
So let us hope that he's able to continue, and Eamon Cregan there with a clenched fist, great determination. Wanting to coach the first ever Offaly side to a 2 in a row. This the catch again, came down awkwardly, challenged strongly by Eamon Taff. He's playing on. David Hughes puck out. Declan Pilkington chasing. Inside towards Billy Dooley. There's another big date, of course, this time at the altar next Saturday when he gets married. Sean McMahon, meanwhile, towards Eamon Taff. Kevin Martin, what a great couple of seasons he's had in the Offaly colours. And the Tullamore man has made a good 40 yards. Now he's going for the point, but he's put it wide. Time ticking away, however. And from a Clare perspective, just about 7 minutes to go, plus a bit of injury time. In it goes, dangerously so. Cyril Lyons has the chance here. The Sparrow likewise. Good save on the line. And it comes to Eamon Taff. Offaly living dangerously, and just 3 points between them. Oh, that could have been such a vital score had Clare been able to get a chance on it. McMahon is injured and fouled by Johnny Dooley. This was the chance just a few seconds ago. Watch as the Sparrow and Cyril Lyons were going in there, and what a good hook. And once again, it's Shane McGuckin who got to it, along with Brian Wheelahan. Free to Clare. James O'Connor It's gone wide. They've been wasteful with a lot of their useful chances that they've been taking up to now in the championship.
Yes, certainly, Jerry. You know, they've missed an awful lot of wides there in the last 10-15 minutes. But great credit again to the Offaly defence. Great skill in hooking and blocking and getting the ball out of defence.
For the record, James O'Connor's had 7 shots at goal. He scored just once. Ollie Baker bats it down, but there are a couple of Offaly players anticipating, I think, another All-Ireland success here. But Clare back there, playing as a team, as a unit. Anthony Daly, stopped again by Kevin Martin. But this is James O'Connor, shrugging aside, I'm sure, previous disappointments. The pass outside to Fergie Toohey. How they need a score. Can he provide it? And the answer is yes. 2 points the margin after Fergie Toohey's 4th point of the day. Offaly 2-7, Clare 11 points. They believe it's still possible. The president looks on, enthralled, I'm sure, by a gripping contest. James O'Connor, ball picked up, free to Offaly. So Offaly with just 9 scores so far against Clare's 11 of those 2 vital goals to Johnny Pilkington in the second half and Michael Dignan towards the end of the first. Now Johnny Dooley. This is just inside the 65-metre line. Dropped in high and well saved by goalkeeper Davy Fitzgerald. Others might have given up on it. Ollie Baker breaks it down to the waiting Sean McMahon. Clare coming foraging, but stopped by little hooks and blocks and shimmies by a determined and skillful All-Ireland Championship winning team from Offaly last year. And looking to retain their title here. Now there's pressure on them. Keenan again. What a wonderful catch. The distribution outside to Shane McGuckin. What an exhibition of catching by the Offaly fullback. Johnny Dooley. It's broken down by Frank Lowen, away from Billy Dooley. That's Liam Doyle. It's Frank Lowen trying to emerge with it. Trying to take it away from Declan Pilkington. Fouled right in front of the eyes of referee Dickie Murphy from Wexford. This was a wonderful catch. What is it, 3 or 4 catches he's made this afternoon? Absolutely magnificent skill.
They're thinking about a substitution now themselves. Eamon Taff, who already came on as a sub, is about to come off the field to be replaced by Alan Neville as soon as Clare get a chance.
That's free is swung in there, batted down by the goalkeeper. It's a goal! It's a goal by Eamon Taff! Clare are in front! A Clare goal! Coming with 5 minutes to go and a little under. Goalkeeper touched it down, and this is where Eamon Taff came in. Clare lead. Clare in front by a point. Well, they talked about the last 5 minutes last year. We've now got under 4 minutes to go. Are Clare about to take a second All-Ireland crown, the last in 1914? Johnny Dooley has a free. It's Eamon Taff who got the goal, and you heard from Tony that he was about to be replaced, and the ball's got over the bar, and the sides are level for the 5th time. Johnny Dooley's 5th point. What a match to us.
Great excitement on the last couple of minutes, Gerard. Offaly definitely paying the price for not putting away Clare earlier on, you know, and great credit to Clare for coming back into the game that they were out of.
So Clare right back in the match once again. Sides all square. Here's the Sparrow. Helped on by Ollie Baker. Coming across is Brian Wheelahan. Does either side deserve to lose this? It's got to be a 65. A 65 then. Players going down with injuries. players who must be exhausted at this stage. It looks like Hubert Rigney. And Hubert had an injury during this championship earlier on, but this time it's just cramp, I feel. Every chance is going to be absolutely critical. What an afternoon we've had in Croke Park. They were nervous and tentative earlier on, as you'd expect. Defences were on top. The faces in the Clare crowd. A sea of faces from the Banner County, willing their team on. The curse of Biddy Early has been broken, well and truly. Eamon Cregan making sure that Hubert Rigney's okay, and we have further news.
Well, it's Joe Erity is the one getting ready to come on if Hubert isn't okay. Joe's taken off his tracksuit, perhaps getting ready to enter the fray.
Here's the 65 from Anthony Daly. Where's it going? Over the bar! The captain has put his side in front. Just over a minute and 20 seconds to go. From the 65, it's Clare who lead. My goodness. Back it comes to Fergie Toohey again. Toohey's shot rains in, but to the right this time. What a match. My goodness, is she feeling the tension? Are we all, I think. Offaly this year being put to the pin of their collars. In spite of a great goal in the second half, credited to Johnny Pilkington. They're still there. So too Clare. On my watch, 35 seconds of normal time to go. Here's PG O'Connell. Will he score here? It's stopped by David Hughes. Well, that's when they wanted O'Connell to chip in with his first point of this final. He failed to do so. Kevin Martin, straight to Johnny Pilkington. Now with the minimum of fuss. Can they draw level? Off the post it comes! Pilkington was so unlucky. Out it comes somehow. Frank Lowen assisted there by Anthony Daly. The Bannermen lead 15 points to 14. 112 to 2-8. Fergie to his shot in as dramatic a finish as you could hope for an All-Ireland final. Cyril Lyons dispossesses Kevin Keenahan. The referee's whistle signalling that it's going to be a free-in. This is an easy enough chance.
Yes, great chance for Clare to go 2 points ahead now, and certainly that should be the end of the game at that stage.
There'll be tears of joy if they can do it. Look at this. Jamesy O'Connor. Score of just 1 point so far from 7 or 8 chances.
And if Jamesy puts this over the bar, I don't think he's going to be too worried about the ones that have gone by.
Absolutely not. And he's done so! Jamesy's second point. I'm sure there's a loss there tomorrow in Clare in St. Flannan's, and Clare are just about to win. They've won! Clare have won the All-Ireland. What a victory! A tribute to determination and no little craft. Well coached by Ger Loughnane. He told us at half-time they'd do it. He said they'd win the Munster. They did. Eat your heart out, Biddy Early. Clare have done it by 2 points, 113 to 2-8. What a dramatic finale. There's no sport like it. Nothing whatsoever to rival this.
Our sympathies to Offaly. Congratulations to Clare, agus Leishin, Runaway, on Curtinshaw, or on Captain Anthony O'Daly.
Perhaps you thought it would never happen. It has. Clare are the All-Ireland hurling champions, and Anthony Daly lifts the McCarthy Cup for 1995. What a day, and what a year. Scenes of absolute jubilation. The Barons beat. It's a memorable, memorable occasion.
Úachtaráin coming Luke a scale. Tá náthas an down orm. An Connolly McCorrick seo. A ghlacha. San Fernie Morny as Cundale Tower. An Connolly McCorrick seo. A ghlacha. San Fernie Morny as Cundale Tower. 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 A ghlacha. San Fernie Morny as C
It's going to be one hell of a week, and we look forward to seeing you in Ennis tomorrow night. Finally we say to Offaly, for many years you have been our inspiration. We looked at your success story and said, why can't we achieve that? And we thank you sincerely for a great struggle today, and we know that Offaly hurling is so strong now that it'll be back again. 3 cheers for Offaly. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Come on, the banner!
Well, straight after the match, you know, you're just overcome by everyone trying to belch you on the back and say a few words. But, you know, the whole reaction around the county, even beforehand, you know, it left a mark on all of the players and I suppose all of the supporters in Ennis and everywhere. You know, it was just fantastic for everyone who was involved in it, and really fantastic for the county.
Offaly did provide an inspiration in the way they were back in the early 80s, and you know their achievements since, and I think there is great credit due to Offaly. But on that occasion they came down to our hotel that night and said a few words on the stage afterwards, you know, and congratulated us, which I think must have been very difficult for them after losing in All-Ireland.
I suppose Offaly people were delighted for us, but in the same way as when they made the breakthrough 15 years ago, we were delighted for them. Galway the same in 1980. You know, hurling people were delighted the fact that Galway won, that it was a different team who was, you know, winning in All-Ireland, and I suppose it's the same this year.
It was significant that we had come through so many bad times and so many times when you came home on the car from Thurles saying we'll never make a breakthrough, you know, after being defeated again. But then it's all the more sweet, I suppose, if you do suffer a bit, that victory comes your way at the end of the day.
We've waited for it so long, and there are so many areas, you know, to address with it, and there is a tremendous interest. There are so many people want their hand on it, and there are so many people, you know, would like a photograph. And what we're contemplating on at the moment is the schools, the primary and secondary schools, to get it around to those and have some of the players present.
Offaly have broken the mould in Leinster. Do you think now that Clare will be generally accepted in Munster?
We feel we're established as a hurling force ourselves, and it's up to ourselves to compound that now and make sure that Clare never goes through famines like it has gone through in the past, and make sure that Clare is up there winning titles every few years.
This is a special limited edition photograph of the All-Ireland Hurling Champions of 1995. All of the panel who contributed throughout the year. And just here, 1, 2, 3, 4 from this side, this Mike O'Halloran, and he's holding the other side of this picture. And he, of course, was the rightful back in that All-Ireland triumph. There's a special meaning behind this, though, this limited edition.
Exactly, Jimmy. As you know, it was the first time we won the Munster Championship in 63 years, and the first time we won the All-Ireland in 81. So whatever we do in the next 10 years or subsequent years, there's only ever going to be one 1995 edition, especially the history that we made this year. So we decided to go with a limited edition of the whole panel, and as you said, the relevant people from the county board and the team management.